Did China just tell President Trump that his Iran strategy is a dead end? It certainly sounds that way, and the implications for global stability are massive. We're talking about a direct statement from Beijing that could fundamentally alter the course of international relations. Before we dive into what this seismic shift means, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you don't miss out on critical updates like this. Now, let's unpack this. China's foreign ministry dropped a bombshell on Friday, stating quite plainly that they see no point in the continuation of the conflict involving the US and Iran. This statement comes on the heels of President Trump himself claiming that he had reached an agreement with Chinese President Xi Jinping on crucial issues related to the Iran situation, specifically mentioning the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. This is where things get really interesting, folks. Think about the context here. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital waterway, the passage for a significant portion of the world's oil supply. Any disruption there, or even the threat of one, can send shockwaves through global markets and economies. The Trump administration has been engaged in a strategy of maximum pressure against Iran, aimed at curbing its nuclear program and its regional influence. This has involved sanctions, military posturing, and a significant diplomatic push to isolate Tehran. The president's claim of an agreement with Xi Jinping suggested a level of cooperation, or at least understanding, between the two global giants on how to manage this volatile situation. It implied that China, a major trading partner with Iran and a permanent member of the UN Security Council, was on board with the American objectives, or at least willing to facilitate certain outcomes, like ensuring the free flow of traffic through the strait. But then comes this statement from Beijing: there is no point in continuing this conflict which should not. The ellipsis is key here, leaving us to wonder what else they might have meant, but the core message is clear: continued conflict is unproductive. This directly contrasts with the narrative Trump was pushing. So, what does this discrepancy mean? Several possibilities emerge. Firstly, it could signal a fundamental disagreement between the US and China on the best approach to Iran. While Trump favors a more confrontational, pressure-based strategy, China might be advocating for de-escalation, dialogue, or perhaps even a different set of priorities that don't align with Washington's. Beijing has consistently called for restraint and has historically maintained a policy of non-interference in the internal affairs of other nations, though its economic interests in the region are significant. Secondly, this could be a strategic maneuver by China. By publicly diverging from the US narrative, Beijing might be seeking to enhance its own diplomatic standing, positioning itself as a more pragmatic and responsible global actor, especially in contrast to what some perceive as Trump's often unpredictable foreign policy. It could also be a way to signal to Iran that China is not a reliable partner for the US's pressure campaign, perhaps encouraging Tehran to seek alternative paths. Thirdly, and perhaps most concerning for the Trump administration, this statement might indicate that the agreement Trump claimed was either misunderstood, exaggerated, or simply not as comprehensive as he presented it. President Xi Jinping is known for his strategic thinking, and it's entirely plausible that any discussions held with Trump were framed within China's own long-term interests, which may not necessarily translate into full US policy alignment. Who is affected by this? Virtually everyone. The people of Iran, of course, whose lives are directly impacted by sanctions and potential conflict. The nations that rely on oil from the Persian Gulf, which means global consumers. The global economy, which is always sensitive to geopolitical instability in key energy-producing regions. And certainly, President Trump's administration, which is facing a significant challenge to its foreign policy narrative and its diplomatic maneuvering. What are the possible outcomes? If China truly intends to diverge from the US on this issue, it could embolden Iran and make it harder for the US to achieve its objectives. It could also lead to a more fractured international approach to the Iran issue, with different countries pursuing their own interests, potentially leading to further unpredictability. On the other hand, if this is a tactical statement, it might be aimed at achieving a specific goal, perhaps pushing both the US and Iran towards a more diplomatic resolution, which, ironically, could be what China believes is the point of the whole exercise. The fact that China is openly questioning the utility of the ongoing US actions, especially when the US president claimed a breakthrough, is a major development. It signals a potential decoupling of strategies on a critical global issue. So what do you think about this? Is China undermining Trump's foreign policy, or is it trying to steer us all away from a dangerous path? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This is a complex geopolitical chess match, and China's move has just made the board a lot more interesting. We will continue to track this story closely.